We are all victimized by other people's inability to emotionally regulate. Some people silently have a difficult time emotionally regulating, so they become detached or separated from others. They see such a duality between me and them, air quotes. But others act out verbally with their actions, with their facial expression, with anger, frustration, sometimes at inanimated objects that have nothing to do with anything that is really going on within them, such as cars and automobiles and motorcycles and hacksaws and working in the garden. We can punching bag, the gym. We can take out our anger, our physical, because it's stored in our physical body. Or we can cry, and that releases the chemicals that are built up, that are stored in the body through our hurt, our anger. Everything stems from fear. And when you're dealing with someone like an angry ex, can you ask them, what are they afraid of? They're angry. If they have an angry-based fear, most likely you're going to get anger back. And that's where you just let it sit. You don't need the last word. You just need to let their soul know, their human self is taking over. But you let their soul know that you see them. They're hurting. They're afraid. And if they choose to react with that back with anger, well, you're a terrible parent, and you don't understand what it's like to parent this child. You're not working with me. We're not on the same page. With their hands thrown up in the air. Then you're not dealing with the soul self. You're dealing with the human self, which is basically taking over its entity, and there's nothing you can do about that. What you can do is what you do for yourself, and in this case, what you do for your daughter, and that is to teach her that she is empathically picking up on frustration and anger, and to stand up for herself. I am not going to be your punching bag or the person that you take out your frustrations on because you can't emotionally regulate. Don't get me wrong. If we have a child that is acting out in an unfavorable way, that it is dangerous to the child, harmful to the child's sense of safety with their upbringing, need some disciplinarian action or some lessons to be learned, you can still sit down and have this conversation, whether it be a short conversation or a long conversation, with making your child feel as angry as you do, as hurt as you do, as sad as you are, as afraid as you are. She still keeps her anger, and then she multiplies. It becomes entity. It multiplies its entity, kind of a mutation, and throws it onto somebody else. And now your child is having a difficult time managing it, obviously, because she's a child. And now it's being thrown on you in also a dysregulated way, except that she's crying, she's tearful, she's hurt, she's frightened, she's lost, she's confused. And now she's bringing that to an adult, hoping that you can help her manage this other adult's inadequacies. And that's not fair for anyone. That's the negative ripple effect. And it's distorted. It's not a clear ripple effect. It's rippling through a dungy, dirty water, if you can imagine it that way, or muddy water. It's not going to have a nice, clean ripple. And this is the only way that you can approach her, your ex. Obviously, you can say to her, obviously, you and our daughter, you got to use our, right, are having difficulty communicating. And she has come to me with really scared, frightened, hurt, fearful feelings. What are your solutions for not taking out your dysregulated anger on our child? Because she is not your punching bag. She is not your therapist. She is not your counselor. She is not your ex. She is not your wife. She is not your job that you don't like. She's not your dysregulated internal central nervous system, because that's what's happening. I always compare it, exaggerate it to something like Tourette's. If you don't, and even Tourette's, I shouldn't even say that, but people that are under more stress, they have more Tourette's syndrome. They have more symptoms, and it's out of their control. And all of us have one form or another of this, where we have knee-jerk reactions. We seemingly out of our control, and we can't believe we just said that. We can't believe that just came out of our mouth. We can't believe we just got all upset over what? Because mentally it doesn't make any sense, but that's because the body still doesn't know how to handle it. So it comes out of control. When adults have temper tantrums and their children are witnessing these temper tantrums, it's not up to the child to regulate it. It's up to the child to look at the parent and say, why are you mad at me? What did I do, which is nothing, by the way, to get you this upset at me, a 14-year-old, a 12-year-old, a 5-year-old? You want to turn around, take a walk? You want to come back and talk to me about something that's upsetting you that we can have an adult agreement on? I'm all for that. But this, bye-bye. And all that sounds really brass, and that probably is going to welcome more anger, as long as it's not said with anger, but it is said with confidence. If she breaks down and starts crying her eyes out and say, I must be the worst child in the whole world, I must be the worst daughter ever, how come you're doing this to me? And still dysregulated. And hopefully a mature parent will go, oh my God, what was I doing? What was I thinking? Look at her, I've got her all. She's having a meltdown. And it's because I'm having a meltdown. And now you might relate to this or you may not relate to this, but it's a common theme that all parents will do once in a while, maybe for short periods of time while they're going through intense stress, or longer periods of time because it's their backbone, it's their disposition, it's who they are. Now, if it's once in a while, hopefully you regulate yourself and you let that child know it was out of control. That was not fair to you. And I will do everything in my power to work on who I am so you can work on who you are. And always know it's a great lesson. They chose us to witness imperfection so they can perfect it within themselves. Because most of our children have dispositions that we have that they want to evolve from. It's in our DNA, it's in our genetic makeup, and it's in our karmic makeup, and it's in our soul genetics. And then there's the big soul picture of everything as well. Emotional self-regulation is not commonplace in the world in general. So every one of us are taking a little piece of it and trying to regulate because it goes out into the ethers. But probably getting a little bit woo-woo, but it's not that woo. It's quite well known. Think of any time something like this happened when you were a child. When did you witness your parents not having control over their emotions? They might be giving you a silent treatment, short-tempered, disciplinary in action, stern, angry, might be directed at you, might have been directed at somebody else, maybe your other parent. And that's part of the trigger right there. So you want to heal that. Take your time. Don't be in a hurry. It doesn't happen overnight because you want to co-create this evolution. Now, that's something you want to sit with. What do you think?